It looked like the perfect summer paradise, crystal clear blue water, calm and inviting. But beneath Jacob's well lies a dark secret. When an underwater drone explored its depths, no one was prepared for what it discovered. The footage sent shockwaves through the internet, leaving viewers stunned and deeply unsettled. Suddenly, a peaceful swimming spot turned into a chilling mystery. And as the video spread, one haunting question echoed everywhere: what else could be lurking in the deep, unseen shadows below? The geological monster Jacob's Well looks calm from the top, but deep below is a long and dangerous cave system. It starts with a straight drop, about 30 feet down. From there, it leads into a maze of underwater tunnels that twist and turn through soft limestone. The whole system reaches almost a mile underground. Long ago, this well had strong water pressure. It would shoot water 6 feet into the air. That force pushed out around 170 gallons every second. Locals used to gather around to see it rise. It was powerful and full of life. Now, the water barely moves. It looks still and peaceful, but the danger is hidden below. The cave has several chambers. At first, everything looks fine. Chamber 1 and Chamber 2 feel wide and open. Light shines through, and the water is clear. Divers who enter these areas say it feels safe and calm. They see smooth rock walls and quiet beauty. But once they go deeper, that calm feeling goes away. Chamber 3 is where things start to change. The light disappears. The water becomes cloudy, and it is hard to see anything. Divers lose their sense of direction. It becomes hard to tell which way leads back. Even experienced cave divers feel nervous here. The walls close in, and it feels like the cave is tightening around them. Chamber 4 is the most dangerous part. People call it the Cathedral of No Return. It is large, dark, and full of fine silt that floats up with the smallest touch. Once the silt rises, everything turns black. Divers can't see their own hands. They lose track of time and space. Some never come back out. Their bodies are too deep to reach. The cave feels like it's alive. Some say it pulls people in. Others believe it tricks them into going deeper. Over the years, more than a dozen people have died inside Jacob's Well. They were trained divers. They brought proper gear. Still, the cave took them. It is not about skill or strength. The cave always finds a way to confuse and trap. When a team sent an underwater drone into these tunnels, they wanted to see how far it could go. They hoped to map new areas and learn more about the cave. But what the drone recorded was more than rock, water, and tunnels. It found something that left the whole world in shock. But when explorers sent a drone into these deadly tunnels, what it found would shock the world. The drone investigation to explore the deep parts of Jacob's Well safely, the team brought in a special underwater drone. This machine could go into the tight spaces that people could not reach. It had high-quality cameras to capture clear video, sonar to scan the surroundings, and strong floodlights to brighten the darkest areas. Everything was ready for a full search of the hidden tunnels. At the start, the view was calm. The cameras showed beautiful rock walls made of smooth limestone. The water moved gently, and the light made the rocks shine. For a moment, it felt peaceful. The well looked like an untouched place, shaped by time. As the drone moved deeper, the peaceful feeling slowly faded. In one chamber, the team saw something floating. It was a single diving glove. No body, no other gear. Just the glove, slowly turning in the water. It looked old, and no one could tell how long it had been there. The team watching from the surface grew quiet. A few feet later, the drone came across diving tanks and gear. They looked like they had been there for many years. Some were stuck between rocks. Others were covered in thick dust and sand. The colors were faded. One wetsuit had large tears in it. The team knew right away that this equipment had not been used in a long time. But there were no names or signs of who the gear belonged to. It was like the cave had taken them and never let go. The drone kept moving forward. The sonar started picking up strange shapes in the dark. At first, they thought the shapes were rocks or plants. But a few started to move slowly. They didn't move fast or in any clear direction. The cameras tried to follow, but the shapes stayed out of the light. Every time the drone got close, the shapes vanished into the shadows. The team could not explain what they saw, but the footage showed something was down there. No one on the team had ever seen anything like it. The cave held more than rocks and water. It held lost items, old gear, and shadows that seemed to shift and float. Even with strong tools and lights, the drone could not find the end. The deeper it went, the stranger things became. And what the drone found was only the start. The floating gear was troubling. But the drone's most chilling discovery was still to come, one that would solve a 40-year mystery. The 1979 tragedy. In the year 1979, two divers went into Jacob's Well for a deep dive. One was Kent Moppin. He had many years of diving experience. The other was Mark Brashy, a young student who was still learning. Both were excited to explore parts of the cave that had never been fully mapped. They wanted to go past the third chamber. Many divers avoided that area because it was risky. But Kent felt sure they could do it. They had the right gear. They had trained for this moment. Mark trusted Kent, and the two believed they were ready. That day, everything seemed normal at first. They moved through the first and second chambers with no problems. The water was clear, and their light showed smooth rock walls and quiet tunnels. But as they went deeper, the path got tighter. The third chamber is known for low visibility and narrow spaces. Once they went into that area, they never came back. A diver named Joe was with them that day. He stayed behind while Kent and Mark continued ahead. Joe later said he watched them go forward, then the water turned cloudy. In a matter of seconds, they were gone. Joe waited, hoping to see their lights again, but nothing happened. He had to return to the surface and report what happened. Rescue teams searched the well for several days. Many brave divers tried to reach the deeper chambers. They looked for signs of Kent and Mark. But the tunnels were too small and full of danger. In the end, the search stopped. People believed the well had taken them for good. Many years passed. Over time, some forgot the story. Others still wondered what had really happened down there. Then, when a drone was sent into the cave, everything changed. Deep in one chamber, the drone's light showed something stuck between two rocks. It was a body in a diving suit. Later, it was confirmed to be Kent Moppin. His suit was damaged, but most of his gear was still with him. He had been there for over 40 years. His body was too deep to bring back, but at least his story was no longer a mystery. Mark Brashy was never found. Some believe he may have drifted into a tighter tunnel even the drone cannot reach. The discovery brought sadness to many. It reminded everyone that the cave holds its secrets tight and takes more than it ever returns. Finding Kent after all those years brought answers. But it also showed how deadly this place could be for those who tried to help. The rescue attempts and near-death experience after Kent Moppin and Mark Brashy went missing, many people tried to help. One of them was Don Dibble. He had trained with the Navy and had years of diving experience. He was strong, skilled, and ready to go deep into Jacob's Well. But what happened to him during the rescue almost took his life. Don went into the cave to search for Kent and Mark. At first, he moved slowly through the chambers. He followed the walls, checked the rocks, and stayed calm. But the deeper he went, the more dangerous it became. In one narrow spot, the ground under him started to shift. Loose gravel began falling around him. In only a few seconds, he was stuck. Gravel covered his legs and part of his body. He could not move. He could not go forward or backward. His air was running low. He knew he had to act fast. To escape, Don did something most people would never think of. He let all the air out of his lungs and let the water pull him. It felt like drowning, but it helped him float out of the trap. When he reached the surface, he could hardly breathe. He had chest pain, and his lungs were badly hurt. Doctors gave him oxygen and kept him under close care. He was lucky to survive. Don later said it was the scariest dive of his life. Even with all his training, the cave had nearly taken him too. After Don's escape, another man named Don Broad took on the challenge. He wanted to bring the missing divers home. He believed it was still possible. He helped organize a large search mission. The team worked for 12 days straight. They brought in special tools, backup tanks, and a mobile chamber to treat divers if pressure became a problem. It was the biggest recovery effort ever at Jacob's Well. The divers went deep and searched every part they could reach. They worked hard and never gave up. But the cave stayed quiet. No bodies were found. After 12 days, the team had to stop. The equipment was wearing out. Some people were getting hurt. The danger was growing each hour. Don Broad made the hard choice to end the mission. Everyone had done their best. The cave kept its secret. The rescue teams left with sadness in their hearts. They had come with hope, but Jacob's Well gave them nothing in return. The place was too deep, too silent, and too unforgiving.